Good afternoon. Hey, you're tuning in and listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. My name is Dr. Aaron Ernst, and we are today broadcasting from a very special location, our new South Charlotte office. Woo! We're super excited about that. I know that, you guys have been listening to our show, for quite some time. Those of you on WBT, years. We've been recently on Fox Sports Charlotte. So I just want to honor the fact that you let us come into your house every Saturday for a true health message. When I mean true health message, I mean the idea you can heal yourself. Look, the doctor of the future is you. So the days of going to an MD, physician, etc., conventional medicine and saying, hey, please heal me are gone and dead. Our healthcare system today is really more of a management care system. Think of it, MD. Manage disease. If you want to be healthy, happy, whole, vibrant, and alive, today especially, you need to take the responsibility. No more can we rely on our insurance companies to say, do this and you'll be healthy, because sadly, medicine as a whole has become a business. It's an industry. That's why they call it healthcare industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar company if you clump it all together. And the whole goal is not to heal you. Despite what you think, my doctor has my best interest in mind. They want my cholesterol better. They want my sugars better. They want my pressure better so I can live longer. Yeah, and you can do that by yourself. It's good to get tested. You need physicians for that. It's good to be coached. You need doctors for that. But the way we, and when I say we, I mean medicine as a whole, approaches healthcare is take this for that. So think about it. We have every ologist under the sun for every system in your body. And yet, to date, there haven't been very many miracle cures where someone took a medication or had a surgery and poof, their condition disappeared. Diabetes gone, heart disease gone, cancer gone, thyroid issues reversed. And the reason for it is, again, you're going to a system that is designed to profit off your disease, to make money off your sickness, and to sign you up for a monthly subscription, just like Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus wants your $14 a month. The medical industry wants your $70, $80, $90, $900 a month for your prescriptions and for your insurance subscriptions. So what if today I shared with you the next layer of your self-healing power? Last week, we talked all about how your nerve tissues, right, the master system regulates your health. Well, now we're going to go into that second master system. So you could call it like the extension of your brain, spinal cord. It is your nervous system, but we now know there's technically a second brain. Did you hear that? Brain number 2 is your gut. And when we talk about your gut, we're talking about the enteric nerve system, which is everything that has to do with your immune system. New research today suggests 80% of your immune system is actually found inside your gut. And the health of your gut, the permeability, the infectious nature, be it a bacteria or a fungus or a yeast, that's the secret for your health. So if you're listening to my voice and you've been struggling with thyroid issues, heart disease, diabetes, MS, Parkinson's, weight loss resistance, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, fibromyalgia, guys, the list goes on and on and on. If that's you, I have an amazing special offer. Last week, we gave away the combination of every ebook I've ever written. Did you hear that? It's a diabetes solve yourself ebook. It's a heart disease clean out your arteries ebook. It's an energy boundless energy ebook, thyroid repair ebook, weight loss resistance ebook. All of the knowledge that we have put into each of our individual books merged into one. It's about 180 pages. It's absolutely free. It's an electronic book, though, so we need your name and email. Why don't you do this? Pick up your phone and text your name and your email to 704-906-2094. It's a call line that we've set up. You can call it or you can text your name and email. We'll not only give you the ebooks for free, but I am hosting an event on October 8th to anyone who wants to come. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be local to Charlotte. You could be in South Carolina, Georgia, Texas, New Mexico, Canada, Israel, or even France. Let's go even further. Australia. It's just an internet connection. 10 a.m. on the 8th of October, I'm doing a thyroid energy life abundance webinar. We're going to teach you how to get your energy back, how to lose weight, how to get your hormones balanced. And again, the webinar is free, and that 120 plus page ebook is free. So that's 704-906-2094. Again, pick up the phone, call, or text your name and email to 704-906-2094. So again, I'm excited. We're in a new studio today, our South office. Guys, we're launching it now. In October, the month, we have now a clinic in South Charlotte. We're located off Pineville Matthews Boulevard. I believe it's Highway 51 and Park Cedar, literally in the Park Cedar Business Complex, basically adjacent to the Big Mother Atrium Hospital, South Charlotte. So you know the interchange, 77, 485 crosses, 51 cuts right through. You go towards Matthews on the Pineville Matthews Boulevard. You take a left on Park Cedar in the Park Cedar Business Complex. Boom, Suite 150 on Park Cedar Drive. So listen, this is going to be huge. Do you know how long people have been saying, Dr. Ernst, when are you going to open a South office? Now. When are you going to come closer to Indian Land or Pineville, Matthews, Fort Mill, Rock Hill? Now. So the clinics are open. We are in the early stages. We have several days a week. So if you're looking to get into a clinic like mine that does functional medicine, integrative healing, detoxification, chiropractic care, the entirety of what you need to do to fix yourself, it's real simple. Join us for the webinar on October 8th. That's our launch for you guys, okay? You need to be on the webinar because we got to show you how does this work, what do we do, what kind of tests are involved, and then you can get served with your health now, not only in North Charlotte, but also in South Charlotte. And watch this. I predict in the next 3 years, East Charlotte, West Charlotte, and then who knows, maybe we go outside of the Charlotte area, like up into Statesville or Mooresville, or maybe even over towards Mint Hill. We'll look into that as we get closer with it. So what is our topic today? As I ramble on, the second major healing system that you must engage in order for yourself to heal from anything. It could be diabetes, heart disease, cancer, MS, Parkinson's, fibromyalgia, inner fatigue, neck pain, back pain, headaches, or even toenail fungus, is you have to engage your second master system of healing, which is your gut, known as your enteric nervous system. And we have to talk today about this syndrome that many of you have that you haven't been diagnosed with because a medical doctor cannot truly test you for this. And it's called leaky gut syndrome. Now, when I say that, that is the common phrase. Some of you are going to go, well, I talked to my doctor and they said leaky gut syndrome doesn't exist. Well, true. If you're going to talk to a medical doctor, use their terminology. Here that is. Ready? Increased intestinal permeability with an elevation in zonulin peptide that creates breakdown of the gap junctions of the intercellular enteric system. And they're going to go, oh, yeah, that we acknowledge that, Dr. Ernst, but, we don't really treat it because there is no pill for this yet. So just understand, leaky gut, increased intestinal permeability, aka the same thing. Now, here's what's crazy. As the name is suggesting, it is a leak. But a lot of you freak out and go, does this mean that stool is literally leaking out of me into my intestinal cavity? No, you would die if that happens, okay? That would be a perforation or some sort of massive damage to your intestinal system where you're literally leaking fluids of stool and bacteria into the abdominal cavity. Red alert, emergency situation, off to 911, ambulance to the hospital, emergency surgery. Think again, an appendix that goes boosh and ruptures open, life-threatening. We're not talking about that kind of leak, guys. We're talking about a molecular, at a cellular level, separation of the cells. Let's pretend my two hands are interlocked as if I'm holding hands. That's a tight junction. Well, if the hand holding starts to separate apart and you're only holding on by fingertips, it can very easily start to tear and you get microscopic holes between the cells of your intestinal lining. So what happens is these things called tight junctions or gap junctions are damaged. We're going to talk about what damages them, how do you fix them, how do you get your health back. But as they leak into the bloodstream, now goes microscopic particles of stool and viruses and bacteria and undigested proteins and gunk and you name it. And that is known as leaky gut syndrome. So again, to better understand this, I want you to visualize a toddler holding their mother or father's hand as they cross the street. Man, mom and toddler, dad and toddler, that's a tight junction, right? Johnny, come with me. Like, hold on. Don't let go. Don't let go. So that is a tight junction. That would be a healthy gut. But again, if that kid lets go, those two hands, right, they separate apart, man, that's chaos. Right? Cars coming on, there's space between, the mom's freaking out, the kid's crying like crazy. Ah! That's a leaky gut. So when there's inflammation in the body, specifically because of either food sourced or medication sourced or lifestyle sourced, you start to get a breakdown of the junctions in the cells of your gut. And what we now know is there's a protein that is doing that. It's called zonulin. And it's a little tough to pronounce, but Zonulin, zonulin. And it is a protein that when in the bloodstream makes the gut leak. So here's what we should ask, right? Well, Dr. Ernst, if zonulin makes the gut leak, then what makes zonulin high? Guess what? Ready? It's high because of all the crud you eat, all the medications you take, all the inflammation that happens at the cells. And the more inflamed you are, the more damage you do to your intestines, the higher your zonulin levels, and therefore the more leak you have. Now watch this. It's so cool. Could we measure zonulin in your blood and make a reference to how leaky your gut is? Absolutely. Can we do it in your urine? Heck yeah. Does your doctor ever test you for that? Never. Because to date, there is no drug that has been developed, and I'm sure they'll figure it out at some point because, again, they want to make a ton of money off of you. A zonulin blocking medication, it doesn't exist yet. Okay, so what do we need to do? Well, first of all, let me give you a small list of things you might have to know if your gut's leaking. And then I'm going to show you how zonulin gets elevated. What are the causes of the elevation? And then I'm going to show you how to fix it, right? It's the 4R system for repairing your gut. We want to repair, so we remember R for repair. So there's 4 R's to fix your gut. Let's go through it all. Hey, I've got a couple people texting in, and they're just sending, please, ebooks. So don't forget, when you text 704-906-2094, name and email. If you want to say, send me the ebook, we already know what you're texting in for. Name and email, guys. Not just like Mary and Mary@gmail.com. First name, last name, email, send. How do we do that again? 704-906-2094. Text your name and your email. Or you can just call and my call center will pick up. Again, we're giving away for free today my ebook combination. It's 5 different books, actually 6 technically. And inside of that is heart disease, gone. Diabetes, gone. Thyroid issues, gone. Energy, back. Weight, gone. Health, back. And it's all yours for free. But we need you guys to take action, all right? It's time to pick up the phone, hit your text messaging options, 704-906-2094. How much time does it take for you to send a text today? Some of you can even tell your phone, hey Siri, text 704-906-2094. And then it'll say, and you say, Bob Smith at bobsmith.com. And we know who you are, okay? So again, I'm also offering a free webinar to anyone who wants their health back, their life back, their energy back. Look, I had a patient earlier this week, 68 pounds down. You hear that? 68 pounds. Come on, 68 pounds in just 5 months. Can you do that? Yes. We've had people get off medications for heart disease, blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, thyroid issues, chronic neck pain, back pain, headaches, even the crazy things, MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, all of it because we teach you how to heal yourself. No prescriptions, no procedures, natural healing. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, is it diet and supplements? No, it's fix the master system, brain and spinal cord, repair your gut, right? This enteric system I'm talking about. And then you engage system number 3, which is next week. So make sure you tune in for that. So how would you know if you have a leaky gut? Okay, simple. If you have asthma, if you have allergies, if you have brain fog, if you are chronically tired, or watch this, if your joints hurt in the morning, or you can't even fall asleep at night, so the morning is terrible for you, you have migraine headaches, you have hormone imbalances, polycystic ovarian syndrome, polycystic kidney disease, if you have PMS, ladies, if you have skin issues, acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, or if you can't lose weight, then you may have a leaky gut. So why is that? Well, how can so many different conditions be linked to one cause? It should tell you it's a master system. Again, 80% of your immune system is right there in your gut. And if it's leaking, inflamed, or irritated, you can't heal. So what are the primary things that cause this? Number 1, we know based on research, there's a protein called zonulin. And as zonulin levels go up, the gut leaks further apart. As zonulin levels go down, the gut starts to actually heal. How is this possible? Well, zonulin is a protein that attacks the gap junctions. Think of it as like anchors that hold your cells real tight together. Zonulin comes in and goes, ploom, there goes one anchor, ploom, there goes 2 anchors, ploom, and eventually, and now you have a gut leak. Okay, so you need to pay attention to the word zonulin. Google it, Zonulin and leaky gut, or zonulin and increased intestinal permeability. You're going to get deep, okay? This is research. This is science. So don't feel overwhelmed. Just know zonulin is high, gut's leaking. Zonulin is low, gut's not leaking. So what causes zonulin to go up? Number 1, our diet. In fact, your diet is either making it go up or go down. So standard American diet, you know what I'm talking about, right? High in omega-6 fats, meaning trans fats, inflammatory fats, processed foods, sugars, processed meats, cheeses that are fake, low fiber, right? All of this has been linked to a leaky gut. Inflammatory foods create a cascade in your intestines of irritation, and that irritation makes the body respond by increasing zonulin. So we often recommend no more American foods. You know, remember that song, Bye Bye Miss American Pie, right? Like no more American pies, no more Chevys to the levees, none of that stuff. Like we got to go back to the basics with your diet. So what do we do food related? Gluten causes elevations in zonulin. This is going to sting. Corn. We as a human are not designed. I don't care if you think it's evolutionarily created or like I do, biblically and through God creation. We are not designed to eat grasses. Okay, cows, horses, go for it. But human beings, we really don't eat grass. And the crazy thing is, wheat is technically a grass. Corn is a grass. Rice is a grass. So when you eat grains, you're eating grass by definition. The category of the seed falls in the grass family. So we've got to cut out gluten and cut out dairy and corn and soy and rice and anything that is fake or processed, because that elevates zonulin, which makes your gut leak. Okay, number 2. A lot of you are having problems with nutrient insufficiency. You don't have enough nutrition. You're eating bulk volume. Okay, well, I ate till I was full, Dr. Ernst. I got good nutrition. Nah, not necessarily. I could fill your stomach with rocks, and you will feel full because you stretched your stomach, but you actually absorbed nada, except maybe you get a little calcium out of rocks, and you get the idea. But we're talking like all the essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And the reason sometimes isn't because you don't have a good diet. There's a lot of vegans and organic eaters that when we test them are still uber low in vitamins. And they go, I don't understand. I take vitamin C. I eat vitamin C. I put vitamin C on my skin. I even do IVs of vitamin C. How can I be vitamin C deficient? Gut leak. Okay, so look, if your stomach acid is low, which almost all of you are stomach acid low, you can't digest your food and take it from a solid chunk of food into a liquid solution that you can absorb. And because of that, you don't properly break down proteins and fats and carbs. They're in big components, and those big components get in your gut and it freaks out. Your small intestine goes, what the? Hey, stomach, you were supposed to digest that. Why do I have a whole protein in my intestines? And what happens is your intestine goes, you know what? Inflammation and irritation. Zonulin goes up, it starts to leak. And what can we trace this back to? You probably have low stomach acid. In fact, I'm going to tell you a little secret. If you say, no, Dr. Ernst, I don't have low stomach acid. I have high stomach acid. I've got acid reflux. Guess what? That's low stomach acid, guys. Low stomach acid means you don't digest your food, which means your food stays too long in your intestines, too long in your stomach, bloats it out, causes reflux, and then those undigested proteins, when they hit that small intestine, red alert, and it creates inflammation. Zonulin is upregulated with undigested food particles sneaking through your stomach and getting into the small intestine, creating inflammation. So that's cause number 2. If you've been paying attention at all, cause number 1, bad diet, American diet, right? Corn, wheat, rice, soy, oats, fatty this, trans that, fried this, sugared that. Okay, destroys your gut. Number 2, insufficient nutrients due to low stomach acid and too much undigested food in your stomach and your intestines. All right, number 3. This is a tough one. Toxic exposure. The more chemicals that you're exposed to through either your house, your personal care products, or the foods you eat, or the things you put on you, they can create havoc in your liver and your intestines, again, intensifying symptoms and making zonulin worse. Some of the most dangerous toxins that we're exposed to daily without even thinking about it are the pesticides and herbicides sprayed onto our foods, the metals and the contaminants found in our environment. Some of you have metals in your mouth through your fillings. Some of you are going to following your doctor's recommendations. You know, it's flu season, Dr. Ernst. I had to get a flu shot. Really? Was someone holding a gun to your head? No, you chose to get one. And in that shot is aluminum sometimes, mercury sometimes. So you can, if you toxify yourself, you make yourself sick. So we have to decrease toxic exposure. The lotions, the potions, the creams, the soaps, the deodorants. Look, I'm going to just like if there's one that you need to chuck, it's your deodorant and your toothpaste. Most toothpastes are full of an antibacterial soap and fluoride, which, by the way, destroys the bacteria in your mouth, sets your entire digestive system up for failure, and the fluoride is now being linked to calcification of the pineal gland, which shuts off your ability to sleep at night because it decreases melatonin. Do you know how many people can't sleep right now? Like, I need a Lunesta, I need a whatever, I need a this medication to fall asleep, or sleep tea, sleep gummies, melatonin this. If your pineal gland is calcified due to exposure from fluoride poisoning, you can't make your own melatonin, and therefore you require external stimulation. So we've got to clean out our diet. We've got to increase the acidity of our stomach, and we have to make sure we're being low with toxic exposures. Now, ready? This is a huge one. Number 4, fourth cause of this leaky gut syndrome. If you have an infection physically in your intestines of either yeast, candida, fungus, again, candida, or bacteria or viruses, what happens is it causes direct inflammation because of the infection in the intestines itself. I want you to think of like a sinus infection, right? Your nose starts to leak, doesn't it? All the fluids and the gunks and all that crud just comes out. Or a respiratory infection. Your lungs are actually leaking mucus and you cough it up because you're leaking internal. So watch this. An infection in your intestines causes your intestines to leak irritation, inflammation, mucus, and this overgrowth of either bacteria, yeast, fungus, or parasites, that's a big one, can actually cause intestinal permeability issues. Now, I had a patient once go, Dr. Ernst, like, are you saying I have worms? Okay, well, listen. It's a known fact that between 30 and 70% of Americans right now if tested for parasites, would fail the test. And does that mean you've got worms? Well, it depends on your definition of a worm, okay? You guys think of creepy crawlies like big enough you could see them with your own eyes. No, like heartworm for a dog, right, that takes over their heart, all these worms crawling around and they die. That's not what we're talking about. Microscopic intracellular parasitic infections like Lyme's disease, even the critters of the pinworms and the hookworms and all that stuff that gets inside your gut, that can actually cause a gut to leak. And I know it's going to sound crazy, and I don't want you to think that I'm trying to, pour doom and gloom on you. Every single patient I work with that takes a medication for any condition, almost always, like 95%, test positive for an infection in their gut. Now, of all the infections that I see, the majority, 80%, are bacterial overgrowths. And that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You got bacteria in your gut, but if it overgrows, it can overtake the system. But listen, man, 10, 15%, that's parasitic. Another 10 or 15%, yeah, we're getting in the zone of like virus and even the big guys like Candida. So it's really worth testing your intestines. And again, if you want to learn more about how to find out if your gut's leaking, find out what the level and the effect of that is towards your health, man, download our ebook. Okay, I put all the tests that you can get. Many of these, you do them at home. You literally just order them. They show up at your house. You fill up a little vial with urine. You send off a sample of this, and then poof, you get results back. You can learn how to do that by grabbing our ebook, which is, again, free. The call lines have quieted. The text lines have quieted. So guess what? Time to do it now. 704-906-2094. Text in your name and your email or call right now. The ebook is 120 pages of knowledge, education, and wisdom for each condition. Thyroid, it's in there. Heart disease, there it is. Diabetes, right there. Energy, it's present. Weight loss, guaranteed. You get all of those for free right now. 704-906-2094. Hey, Mary, look, that's a lovely text, but we are not going to mail physically to you an electronic ebook. Email rather than snail mail, right? This is not a book that you can hold tangibly in your hands yet. It will be eventually, but right now it's electronic. So Mary, love the text, but don't forget it's your email, not your mailing address. I mean, we love seeing where you live now, but we want that email address. Or again, you call it 704-906-2094. We have a lovely call center set up. Brilliant, beautiful people. They just want the same thing. Thanks for calling the Dr. Ernst Show. What's your name? Oh, yeah? Okay, what's your email? Okay, perfect. You're going to receive your ebook and your free registration for the webinar. Have a nice day, right? You'll just speak to them. Okay, so what are we giving away again? It is an entire book that is subdivided into categories of thyroid, heart disease, diabetes, energy, and weight loss, plus a bonus, all the diets that match each condition, and even supplemental recommendations. Guys, I'm giving away the protocols and the steps for free, but only to those who pick up the phone and call that number or text their name and email. Again, what is it? 704-906-2094. Real easy. Just do it. Okay, so quick summary. Your second major healing system is your gut. And some of you have really big guts. So I don't want you to think that means you have a really big, healthy immune system. It's the opposite. The bigger your gut, the weaker your immune system. The bigger your gut, like, oh man, look at this gut. Like, I got a huge gut. That's very sick, very diseased, okay? We want small, tight, really defined gap junctions between the cells of your intestines. What causes a gut leak? Well, the research says it's due to an elevation in a protein called zonulin. Zonulin attacks the junctions that, again, hold the cells of your intestines together and causes them to rip until eventually, now you got microscopic holes between the colonic fluids, so the stool and the bacteria and the viruses and parasites and the crud, and your blood. So now as that stuff leaks into your blood, red alert, inflammation, irritation, joint pain, asthma, allergies, headaches, etc., etc., etc. They've even linked a gut leak to diabetes and cancer and heart disease. So this is no laughing matter, guys. What are the major causes of elevated zonulin? Standard American diet, poor nutrient quality, right? Too much inflammation, too much sugar, not enough of the healthy foods you need. And there's too many grasses and grains, right? Wheat and corn and rice and oats and soy and things to this effect. Too little stomach acid and not digesting your food well enough before it gets into the small intestine. A lot of Americans, they need to take stomach acid as a pill. Hydrochloric acid will help you to digest your food so you can take the stress off your gut and lower your zonulin. Number 3, exposure to toxins, toxic food, toxic chemicals, toxic products. The biggest ones being the beauty things you use, your deodorants, your shampoos, your hairsprays, your whatevers, lotions and creams, etc. Number 4, an infection that has subskirted the doctor's ability to detect them. Parasitic, bacterial, fungal, viral, or yeast in your gut can cause dysbiosis, which can then cause inflammation that then causes a gut leak. All right, stress. Look, there's a lot of people who'd be like, oh, like stress is such an overrated thing. Like everyone is stressed out, so we're all sick. Well, true, but remember, stress is the external action. Really what it needs to be is how you react internally. Some people get no stress at all doing the thing that stresses Mary out like crazy. Mary, no, there's no way. And other people, I mean, it's totally fine. Like I can do this. So remember, it's never, ever the stress. It's your response to the stress. And can you practice becoming less stressed during certain circumstances? Absolutely. But we do know that, like, for example, when you're stressed out like crazy, your digestive system slows down. It is part of the fight or flight reaction. If you're running from a threat, let's say a gang of whatever's coming after you, knives and guns and even missile launchers, and you're running, okay, the last thing your body's thinking about is, hey, we need to take a break and like use the toilet, okay? It just doesn't do that. You'll notice urination down, defecation down, because your body's like, get out of here, move. All the energy goes to your heart, to your muscles, and to your sweat system so you can haul and get away from the threats. Okay, so think of the same thing. Instead of being chased by a gang of hoodlums with guns and knives and missile launchers, you've got your boss breathing down your neck. You've got a project that's overdue. You've got 10 bills with even past due notices, and you've got your kids yelling and screaming in the background, and your husband's off with someone else or your wife. You guys get that? That is the same type of stress as a hoodlum coming after you. So the challenge is stress does slow down your gut. And the slower your gut, the longer all that crud stays in there. So the more inflammation, the more irritation, and the more leak that is present. Anything you can do to decompress your mind, no matter if it's just take a moment of prayer, reflection, meditation, some time for yourself, a vacation. You got to learn how to manage the reaction. Notice I didn't say manage your stress. You're always going to be stressed. Manage your reaction to the stress. Okay? Medications. This is probably, I think, like number 6 now? Various medications. Now watch this. Why would a acid reflux medication cause a gut leak? Well, we said earlier, low stomach acid means you don't digest your foods. Those undigested foods get into the small intestine and wreak havoc, causing zonulin to go up. So if you take a medication that shuts your stomach acid off, I mean, come on, like it doesn't take that much other than common sense to see. Not a good idea. So proton pump inhibitors destroy the ability for you to have a healthy gut. Antibiotics. Makes sense, doesn't it? We kill down all the healthy bacteria that protect the intestine. So now you've got a sterile gut that only the antibiotic resistant bacteria survive through. They overtake and they cause inflammation. We also know that it is absolutely essential for us to have healthy bacteria in our intestines. So an antibiotic or an antacid, the 2 top worst medications. And guess what? Lots and lots of people take acid blockers and antibiotics regularly. Now, did you know that if your gut is leaking, which by the way, yours probably is, that if it doesn't get fixed, you will end up with an autoimmune disease? Listen to the Journal of Frontiers in Immunology, published May of 2017. Quote, multiple diseases can arise or be exacerbated by a gut leak, including autoimmune diseases like IBS and IBD. That's the attack against the intestines directly. Celiac disease, autoimmune hepatitis, type 1 diabetes, multiple sclerosis, systemic lupus, and the list goes on and on and on. So the research says if you have a gut leak, you will end up with an autoimmune disease if you don't fix it. What is an autoimmune disease? Well, by definition, it is your body incorrectly attacking your systems. Now, it's trying to heal you. So I don't want you to think it's like somehow become some ninja turtle that's gone rogue in your body and just randomly attacking things. No, your immune system is trying to fix something, but it's fixing it so hard that it harms you in sacrifice. One of the most common, and I say common, I mean like 90% of people that have thyroid problems have an autoimmune thyroid and they didn't know it. Why would your body attack your thyroid like that? Well, number one, there's an infection in the thyroid. Typically, it's Epstein-Barr virus or it's damage from heavy metals like mercury and lead and cadmium and aluminum. So if your thyroid is under attack by a virus or a toxin, you will build an autoimmune response to help the body fix the thyroid. Now, if the attack goes on and on, 20 years, 30 years, eventually there's scar tissue and damage. It's kind of like if a war went on for so long that all we saw was piles of bodies on the ground, eventually you would be like, yeah, I don't even know if I want to fight this anymore. Okay, so it's a similar thing. Epstein-Barr virus gets inside a thyroid. So do antibodies against the production. Where did all this stuff come from? Well, a leaky gut that allowed the viruses to get in the bloodstream, allowed the bacteria, allowed the toxins. So now your immune system says, red alert, thyroid is being damaged by toxins and viruses and bacteria. Help the thyroid. The immune system comes around and says, we'll try to attack them. Let's go after the viruses and the bacteria and the toxins. But at the same token, it's like, well, let's also kill some of the thyroid down to see if we can get rid of it. Now we have an autoimmune disease where you're attacking the same tissues you should be healing because of chronicity and because of the fact that there's still an infection present. Leaky gut Leaky gut syndrome leads to what's known as immune system dysregulation. It's a fancy phrase to say it weakens your immune system. And remember, 80% of your immune system is inside the gut wall. Technically, it's called the GALT, G-A-L-T, gut-assisted lymphoid tissue. Your gut helps to clean out your blood. Your gut helps to get rid of bacteria and toxins and viruses and parasites and even issues like high blood sugars, cholesterols, pressures, etc. When a leaky gut develops and there's too many toxins and too much bacteria, the overwhelm, all that stuff leaks back into the bloodstream, and then you become minutely infected in other systems, and then your immune system is like, man, I got to go after this. I got to go after it. Now watch. Some of you are probably going like, oh my gosh, Dr. Ernst, like you're coming at me like a flood. Okay, I get it. Okay, you've got to learn this stuff. And there's no way in 1 hour you're going to become a pro at fixing a gut leak. Okay, I still got to go over the 4 R's, and I still have to talk to you about molecular mimicry. So you've got to download the free ebook. Okay, but it's not that you have to, it's just you should. You know, it's kind of like the old idea. Do you have to pay your taxes? Well, technically no, but you should, because otherwise there's a consequence. Now look, let's use the same analogy. Do you have to fix a gut leak? Well, no, but there will be a consequence. Do you have to download the ebook? No, but there's a consequence. You won't learn how to heal yourself. You'll get sucked into that medical trap. You know that one? Where this hurts and that hurts and this stuff's working. And then you go to your doctor and you guys, I don't know why, but you just believe everything they say. What you should do for your condition is jump off a 5-story building and see if you can survive. Oh, okay, I'll do it. Like, why do we listen so, I don't know, inherently to our doctors? We think they're like gods. Well, they went to so much school and they know so much more than I do. You can know more than your doctor does if you're willing to put in a little bit of time. Now, how long does it take for you to read 10 or 15 pages? Okay, hopefully not that long. I do realize that today, a lot of you are like, read? Are you kidding me? You got an audiobook? You got some sort of like video I can watch where I can just listen in the background? I mean, yes, we do. Get them. 704-906-2094. If you want that free ebook that has over 120 pages of how to fix heart disease, diabetes, thyroid issues, weight loss resistance, energy, and even repair old bad joints, 704-906-2094. Now, some of you are going like, oh, Dr. Ernst, like, you're making me move my pinky to dial a number. Come on, man. Like, let's do it. It's not that hard. Do your old Alexa or Siri, like whatever it takes. 704-906-2094. Okay, now, ready? The big players here. How do we fix a leaky gut? Because first of all, we know it's present, all right? It's there, trust me, all right? Number 2, you've got to stop elevating zonulin. Like, you just have to stop it. You might even consider connecting with us or some of our physicians and getting a test done to look at, do you have a gut leak? We use a private lab. It's a very special test. It looks at zonulin. It looks at bacteria. It measures the leak by percentage, and it's a urine test that you do at your house. I mean, come on, like, how easy is this? We ship it to you. It's a small box, barely the size of your phone. And you open it up, and there's a little vial on the inside, and it says, fill to this line. So your morning urination, you put the lid on it, you throw a frozen packet in there that we'll give to you, and you send it out through FedEx. And the results come back in about 2 weeks, and it will tell you, this is what's happening to you. And guess what? It even shows you what you need to do to fix it. The 4 R's, ready? Remove all the stuff that elevates zonulin. That's those toxic foods, the toxic ingredients. We've got to get the stomach acids back to normal, remove the irritation and the damage. The biggest, most irritating inflammation food to the gut are the grasses. Get rid of the glutens, get rid of the rice, get rid of the corns. They have directly been connected to elevating zonulin, which will then elevate the inflammation. You got to remove the parasites. You got to get rid of the bacteria, the viruses. Some of you need to be tested to figure out what it is. Because think about it. If you're high in viruses and you take a natural antibiotic, what happens? It's like a Jeopardy question, right? Alex, for 400 points or $400, I'll take, parasitic reactions. Okay. And the question says this: if you take an antiviral for a parasite, what happens? Ding, 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 nothing. You won. Oh my God. Like, it's not that hard. You take antiparasitics for parasites. You take antivirals for viruses. You take antibacterials, but not prescriptions, for the bacteria. You take antifungals for fungus. So again, you need to know what's growing in you. And it's simple. A urine test will tell you. If you have too much bacteria, we have to use natural holistic antibiotics. If you have too many parasites, natural holistic antiparasitics. If you have too many viruses, you see where it's going? Natural holistic antivirals. So remove the fungal infections, the parasitic infections, the gluten. Just get it out. Like, get it out. Okay? Then number 2, replace. All right? What does that mean? Well, a lot of you don't have enough enzymes, so we got to put the enzymes in. For the love of God, like, I don't care who you are, you will benefit from taking a digestive enzyme. Okay? We work with a group called Eterna. It's a company that my wife manages and owns, where we have formulated, I believe it's the best digestive enzyme you can ever use, ever. And we called it something simple: Digest All. All, A-L-L, Digest All. You know what it means? It digests everything you could think of eating. Proteins, fats, carbs, you name it, it'll digest it. And here's the kicker with it. We actually put hydrochloric acid and bile salts inside that capsule. So you get bile acids, digestive enzymes, and hydrochloric acid in a simple capsule you just take when you eat. Boom! Your stomach acids go up. Now, we need to replace those healthy bacteria, don't we? So we got to get them out, and then we got to replace them. This is where you have to start learning how to do fermented foods. And here's what I'm going to say to this. Fermented foods are not beer and wine and that kind of stuff, right? Because I had a patient once. Yes, you just put me on fermented foods. I'm going to go have a beer. It's fermented. No. I said food. Well, Dr. Ernst, I put beer in my mouth, right? So it's food. No, that's a beverage and a drink, and it's wheat-based, so you don't want to do that. So we're talking about kefirs and kombuchas and sauerkrauts and kvass, if you even know what that is, KVASS, kimchis, and all the healthy, naturally fermented vegetables. Notice, not beer, not wine, vegetables that are fermented, or the non-cow-based dairies like goat kefirs and sheep kefirs and things that are dairy-based but don't come from cows. Really good for re-inoculating. Can you take a probiotic? Yes, but you have to be really careful on probiotics. A lot of the ones you guys have maybe like 3 strains of bacteria in them. No, Dr. Ernst, you're wrong. Mine says 40 billion. No, that's the count. How many total bacteria? Now turn it around and then read the bacteria strains to me. Well, it says lactobacillus this and lactobacillus that and lactobacillus this and lactobacillus that. Yeah, 1 strain of lactobacillus, right? Strains. Now subtypes are what you're reading for the second. So if you see like 16 lactobacilluses, that is 1 strain of bacteria. So if you put in 40 billion single strains, not a good idea. You want multitudes of different names of bacterias, right? So there's bifidobacterium, there's lactobacillus, there's subtilis. So the more, the merrier. The best way to get your probiotics, though, is not in a capsule. I know it's going to sound weird, isn't it? It's in the foods you eat that are fermented. Well, Dr. Ernst, I don't have time to ferment food. Capsules are easy. You just pop them and go. True. But remember, do you want to heal or not? You have to do it the right way. Now, today, thankfully, you can go buy pre-fermented foods. Yeah, but I was at the store, Dr. Ernst. The kimchi is like $12. It's so expensive. So is dealing with arthritis and eczema and psoriasis and, cancer and heart disease. $12 for food that's going to rebuild your intestines. That's a steal if you ask me. It's so hard. I don't know what to get. Download my ebook. Everything you need is right there. No more excuses, guys. It's your health and your responsibility. So we re-inoculate. We get all the healthy bacteria in. Now, ready for this? Now we have to make sure that we do the final of them all, and it's repair. All right? Repair. You have to fix the damage of what's already been in place. And this requires typically some help through a physician so that we can guide you through the repair process. Some of you need to increase your antioxidants. That's like, vitamin C and A and E. Some of you need to actually increase the collagen, which is a protein that holds the cells together. Some of you need to enhance your glutamine. And the reason that you would want to remember glutamine is it glues the intestinal cells together. Zinc is also a substance that is required for your intestines to build back together. And the neat thing is you combine zinc and glutamine with rest, and then your body heals naturally the intestines. It takes, on average, about 21 days for the gut to seal once. Now, some of you will be like, all right, so I sealed my gut, Dr. Ernst. I've got 1 gap junction back. Yeah, but there's usually 7 layers to repair. So if you do the math, 21 weeks for 1 set, right? Guess what? 21 weeks for 2 sets, 21 weeks for 3 sets, 21 times 7. You're looking at 140 something weeks. It can take sometimes a year or 2 before it's fully sealed, confirmed, done, finished. Now, does that mean, I should give up then? Like, 1.5 years of my life? 2 years? I don't think it's worth it. Well, that's your call. I think it's worth putting in the time and the effort. I was listening to this podcast before coming to this office, and there was this really interesting quote that this guy was saying. He goes, when you go to the gym and you work out for like an hour and you get home and you take your shirt off, no results, no change. So then you go back on Wednesday and you do another half hour. And when you get home, you take your shirt off, still no change. And after about a week of doing that, of not seeing change, you know what the average person does? Yeah. You've probably done this before. You quit. Well, I put in a week, an hour and a half of my precious time, and I got no results. This isn't working. It's a farce. It doesn't work like that. Consistency over time is results, people. You guys understand that? I could do one push-up a day and then add one push-up every day. And in a year, I'm going to have really strong arms. So just remember, it's not about the immediacy of the result. Because see, we live in a world today where we want it yesterday. Like I want perfection before I even thought of it. Think about it. What does a medication offer you? Well, you don't have to change anything. Change nothing about your life and everything will be fine. Take this pill and have your wings, have your fried chicken, eat the crap that you eat and you won't have reflux. Well, technically you still have reflux, you just can't feel it. So you're living in ignorant bliss when you follow, give me results now. All right. The number one frustration I have as a functional physician is people come to us and they're like, well, how do I get healthy like you? Okay. I've put 29 years into this for myself. So let's start the journey today. Well, Dr. Ernst, I've followed your program for a week and I think I actually gained weight. It's not working. Do it for a month. Well, I lost 5 pounds. I wanted to lose 50. It's just not working. Do it for 90 days. Well, I lost 25 pounds, but again, it was 50 I wanted. Do it for 6 months. I lost 50 pounds. Now watch this. This is Americans. I want 75. 50's not good enough. It's not working. Do you see it? Okay, listen. You can have your health back when you do some simple things. Stop looking for immediate results. You think a gut's going to heal in one day from you just getting rid of gluten and dairy and rice and corn and taking your probiotics? Do you think your skin's going to clear up in a week? No. Things take time to heal. But here's the brilliant part of it. A week of self-healing, you're going to start to feel something. Now, I wish I could say to you it's immediate, like, oh man, I feel like $1 million. Okay, no, sometimes you feel worse before you get better. And that's hard for people. I don't know about you, but the last time I was at the gym, I hated the way I felt. It was murder. But then the next week, I did the same workout and it was like, it feels pretty good. And then a month later, it's like, that's too easy. So put the time and the energy in. Trust me. Just trust me on this. Stop looking for immediate results and focus on the outcomes of your health in the long run and use your tests and your checkups to confirm that you're getting an internal change before you feel it externally. This is why we use labs, guys. This is why we hop on scales, not to look at your total weight, but to look at your water and your muscle mass and your bone mass and your skeletal mass. Things will change before you feel it. And if you know what to look for, you can heal it and then your body repairs. The most unique thing about the intestines is they can generally turn over in about 21 weeks. So you're looking at like 4 or 5 months to seal a gut at least once. Now, you may have heard of this concept of the 7 seals, like we're talking in Revelation and things to this effect. Well, 7 is a very specific number biblically. And I'm going to go off the deep end for some of you, and that's totally fine. We got 6 minutes. Change the channel if you don't want to hear this. But you ready for this? 7 biblically stands for completion. It was 7 days. Well, technically 6, but you get the idea, for God to make the earth, and 1 to rest for him. And I think it's funny, isn't it? The all-powerful, almighty creator of the universe says, hey, take a day of rest. You notice this? You think God really needed to rest? You don't think he was like, man, that was a lot of work. Like, I don't know, I need to take a day off. No, he did it to teach us that you've got to rest. Okay, so 6 days of work, 1 day of rest. So think of it, let's see if we could use this mentality. If God himself needs to rest, so do you. And many of us don't rest. We don't take time to just sit back and just enjoy the fact of all of our hard work, right? In America, what do? We hit our goal, we're like, next. Then we hit that goal, next. We hit that goal, next. We are habitual non-resters. Your gut needs to rest. So 6 days to make the earth, God rests on 7. I'd like you to practice 6 days of eating healthy and 1 day that you eat nothing. Give your stomach a rest. Give it a break. It's a biblical concept. Number 2, 7 means you're finished. Okay, so how many loops around the walls of Jericho did the Israelites have to take before they fell down? 7. How many dips in the river Jordan did Elisha ask King Nahum to do before his psoriasis cleared? 7. All throughout the Bible, 7 is like you just finished. So 7 weeks is one cycle of healing. So if we do 3 sets, because there's 3 parts to God, Father, Son, and Spirit, that's 21 weeks. Do you see where we came up with all these numbers? Your body is created to heal itself. The problem is you guys don't follow the guidelines that are laid out in your owner's manual. You know, my wife just got a new car recently. And it's funny because in the glove box is this massive manual. Now, though, today, they're all electronic, right? So it's like a little tiny thin book that has a bunch of photos for like the emergency things you need to know. And it had a QR code that said, download your manual. And, you know, I'm the kind of person where I'm like, yeah, I got to learn everything about this car. My wife's like, just turn the key. If as long as it goes, I'm happy. But see, I want to know how all the widgets work. So there's a manual that tells the car how it functions so that the user knows what to do. Now, you ready for this? The manual for your body does exist. And those of you who know what I'm talking about, let's give me the thumbs up right now. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? There is a manual that is for your body, and it starts with a B and ends in an E, and it stands for Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. Bible. You guys get it? That is the owner's manual for your life, for your stress, for your health. And I'd like to say, if the author of that book says, take a day of rest every week, maybe we could start doing that and your guts would start to heal. Maybe we start doing that and your immune system comes back. Maybe you start doing that and you heal. So what do we do for this reset? The rest, the last R that I'm throwing into you, rest. Okay, 6 days a week. Follow the Ask Dr. Ernst Gut Healing Diet, which you will find in the free ebooks that we're giving away today, right now, 704-906-2094. That's 704-906-2094. Because I know I talk fast and you guys always tell me I talk too fast. 704-906-2094. The diets are there. The tests are there. The instructions are there. And then really, I urge you, next Saturday, the 8th of October, 10 a.m. in the morning, you can join us for a free webinar. I'm going to come through that camera right into your house on your computer screen live. You can ask questions while I speak. We're even possibly going to give the ability to say, hey, I want to ask a question and, raise to speak. And you can learn how to heal yourself. So again, to join us for the webinar, 704-906-2094. To join us for the self-healing journey through the ebooks, 704-90. You guys get it, right? It's not that hard. 704-906-2094. Text your name and your email or call the call center and you can heal yourself. So our 1-minute summary for those of you who just jumped on. The second major healing system that you need to fix is your gut. There's a condition called leaky gut or increased intestinal permeability. It's caused by an elevation in a protein called zonulin, which is elevated because of your diet, your medications, your toxins, your stress. And there's 4 R's to fix it: remove, replace, reinoculate, repair. And then the 5th R that I gave you at the very end, rest. 6 days of eating, 1 day of fasting per week. Follow the diets in the ebook that I just talked about. Join me for the webinar next Saturday, and you can fix your diabetes, your heart disease, your thyroid conditions, your energy issues, your weight loss resistance, your joint pain, your back pain, your skin, your headaches, your neck, whatever, toenail fungus. You pick it, whatever you want. All of it can get better when you become the own doctor. Hey, it's the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. Take a moment and visit our YouTube page and our Facebook page with the handle Ask Dr. Ernst. You can subscribe right now. There's free content and lots of information. Don't forget, we're also at AskDrErnst.com. That's AskDrErnst.com. And again, we launched a new clinic in South Charlotte in the Pineville area right next to the Atrium Hospital. We're going to try to take that place down. Let's see if we can burn it to the ground, but not that way, by literally shutting it down with people coming here instead of going there. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week, and be blessed. Have a great day.